And are you refreshed? Good. Now what?
I didn't prepare anything. I just felt the need to connect.
Did it feel like a receptive mode impulse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we want you all to never prepare for anything again. Just get in the receptive mode and then follow those impulses.
Okay. Maybe I'm suppressing the impulse I have because it's not something we talk about in society very much. But it
come from here or here? Receptive mode, tune into your inner being, and that's why you want to talk about it, or problematic and troubling, and that's why you want to talk about it. It's all right. Either way, we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
We're just wanting you to realize, where did that impulse come from? Did it come from flying high and exhilaration and wanting further insight on something, or...
A little bit of both. Because,
no?
Okay. I guess I don't want to say it comes from here, but maybe it does.
And so if it comes from here, that's all right. But do you think that you are in the receptive mode? In other words, you see, we're here, and this is where our answer is going to come from. And if you're here, and this is where our answer comes from, could take a while for us to get you in the receptive mode so that you can hear what we're saying.
Okay. That makes sense.
And that's what happened this morning already. You got closer to a place of being able to hear.
Yeah.
All right. So we haven't talked you out of it yet?
I know. No. Connecting with people, I guess it's coming from validation.
Validation of them? Them validating
from
you?
them.
Looking for love in all the wrong places?
Yeah.
Have you found them to be particularly good validators?
Yeah.
Or have you found them to be fickle validators? In other words, do they love you unconditionally? Do they just see your depth and beauty no matter what you are spewing in any moment? Or are they observers and therefore just reflectors of your mood and therefore only validating whatever you got going on? And use a mirror. Be a lot less trouble.
So how do I use that mirror for myself, if that makes sense? Like, I feel like I'm looking for it because I'm not loving myself enough, maybe, or accepting my depth.
Here's the thing that we really want you to hear, and it's a perfect conversation. So when you acknowledge that you're not loving yourself enough, and so not this receptive mode, but this one, because this one, when you're really tuned in, you not only love yourself enough, you love everybody. In other words, but if you're feeling something less than that, and you're looking for validation, from what you know about law of attraction and momentum and everything that we've been talking about, who do you have access to? What are they really going to validate? Because they can use words that they know you want to hear, but do you even have access to those who have the ability to see the magnificence that is you? Or do you only have access to those that are sort of hanging around in that vibrational frequency that are going to reflect back to you what you already believe about yourself? And so you just go through the motions, but there's never any improvement. Law of attraction is such a steady thing. And that's why it's such a beneficial thing. It's sort of like you never jump off the roof of the barn. Esther did it frequently when she was growing up. Lots of haystack down below. But not one time did she ever fall up. Not one time did she ever wonder, I wonder what gravity's going to do this time. It was always the same. And so law of attraction is like that too. So it sounds like we're saying you can't get to where you want to be from where you're starting out. And we don't mean that exactly. We just mean you want to get into the best feeling place you can before you look for validation. And when you are in a really good feeling place, you're getting so much of it that you don't look for it. That's that rampage that we were on just before segment of refreshment, where we were saying that things are just working out so magnificently for you that you never again wonder whether you're on track or whether you're understood or whether you're blessed or whether you're worthy or whether you're loved. You see what we're getting at? Yeah. So would you walk up to someone who is on the street? It's obvious that they've been living there for quite a while. They have a grocery cart and some things in it. Nothing very exciting in that cart. Would you walk up to that person and say, could you please give me $1,000? Why not? Because you'd be looking for $1,000 in all the wrong places. Not today. And so it's sort of the same thing. If all you have access to is someone who feels sort of the same way that you feel, are they going to be able to validate you and give you what you want, or are they only going to be able to give you what you are in the vibrational vicinity of? But here you are, room full of people, vibration raised. You heard what we were saying. You were feeling what we were saying. You were resonating with what we were saying. And you felt, well, this is a good time for me to ask this question. So here you are, in as close to the receiving mode as you've been for a while or as you're going to be for a while. And here we are, aware of you, knowing everything about you. What would you like to know? What would you like to know about yourself that we know? What do you want to know that we know? Your vortex is ripe with all kinds of wonderful things. We know that. You are one of the most intelligent people that we've ever encountered. Your ability to focus is very, very strong. That's one of the things that works against you a little bit, because you're like a dog on a bone. When you get hold of something, you don't let go of it. You have this incessant desire to be right. You want so much to be right, so much so that you won't let go of something until everyone is either dead or asleep. Your desire to be validated is coming from a very good place, however. Your desire to know who you are is coming from a really good place. You innately know that you are a powerful being, that you're pure positive energy. You know that you came here with great reason and purpose. Sometimes you feel that you're on the path of some of it, but because it's not been a really steady path, it feels to you like you're sort of just going through the motions and like you haven't quite lit on where you need to be. And that's true, but it's true of everybody. It's even true of Esther in the sense that there's always more, always more, always more. So don't worry about that. You have the capacity for not just focusing, but focusing in a way that tunes you into this stream that we were talking about earlier. So you have a capacity for love that you have found on so many occasions. You know what it feels like to be tapped into that. And for you and those like you, and there are a lot of you in this room, nothing less than that will do. And that is the basis of why you're so hard on yourself. You've touched that and tasted it, and you know what it feels like. You know how it's supposed to feel. And when you're not feeling like that, you're blaming yourself and calling it failure. We want to call it step 1. And when you're in step 5, you embrace step 1. You say, hey, it's just part of the process. Do you know that you cannot find a magnificent solution or invention or discovery or beneficial anything if you don't have a problem or a question that sets that in motion? And so the way it goes in a really wonderful and happy life is problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution. But if you go problem, oh, bad me, slow to the solution, oh, lucky me, problem, oh, bad me, then you slow it all way, 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 way down, you see. You could not be more worthy, but you are not even catching a fraction of the way we mean it when we offer it to you. But we can't club you into accepting it.
Please.
We can't club you into accepting it. You just have to look for evidence of it. And there's so much evidence available to you. Don't look for the big evidence for just a little while. Look for smaller indicators of your right pathiness. .com.
Thank you.
Enough, or you want to talk about something?
I don't.
You're right there. Doesn't that feel good? And
Yeah.
don't you know that to be true?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And so it feels like a physical block, like I'm putting a brick right there and I can't see it.
Well, sometimes you
makes
do, but
sense.
everybody does. But you don't do it all the time, and you're doing it less all the time, and now you'll do it even less, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
And your inner being knows where all your blocks are and is leading you around them. Your inner being isn't saying, get rid of the block. Your inner being saying, this way, come over here. It's like when Tracy was little. Every time she saw one of those little mechanical horses, she wanted to put a quarter in it and ride it. And Esther would say, oh, look over there. She tried to hide the mechanical horse from... If Tracy didn't see it, then maybe they would get by it without needing to ride on it. If she saw it, then there's going to be 20 minutes on the mechanical horse. Well, your inner being sort of knows that about you and is just trying to guide you around your blocks that you've put there. Not condemning you for putting them there, wanting to help you get around them until they become inconsequential and unimportant to you. You see, none of you want to go anywhere just directly from where you are to where you think you want to be. Not one of you. Well, maybe you think you do, but you really don't. Your journeys are much more interesting as you're weaving and discovering and exploring. You really don't want to go straight to the answer or straight to the solution. You want to savor it. Esther's watching Tracy's dogs, Hazel and Biggie. Hazel nibbles and savors the little treats she gets. She gets them all around in her mouth and likes to rub her tongue around them and sort of. And Biggie. And Esther will say, "Did you taste that? Do you have any idea what it even was?" It could have been a Lego or a domino. Biggie wouldn't care till later. Yeah. Enough?